Hello and welcome to Grassroots Music, Scotland's only weekly music TV show and the only one to put local bands first, as well as bringing you big industry legends like this woman here, Heather Small. Heather, everybody tries to do a Heather Small voice, so who do you try and impersonate? Who would you like to sing like?
It's not so much a matter that you want to sing like somebody else, it's that if somebody has a distinctive voice and makes you feel a certain way, you try and emulate that voice. But I would definitely say up there is Shirley Bassey and Tina Turner. Who doesn't do Tina Turner? You know, there's a certain kind of, it's not just the voice as well, it's the whole movement, it's the dancing, you know. So, yeah, Shirley Bassey and Tina Turner.
So when you were younger, were you always aiming for that voice? Was it always there, or did you have to work on it to bring it out?
I mean, I had a sound, but I had no technical ability, and I hadn't joined a choir or sung in church or anything like that. So I knew I had a sound, and I think a lot of that's to do with my asthmatic wheeze. No technique. So what I did was I worked on the sound first and then joined a band. They liked my sound, and then I had vocal lessons, but for breathing. Nothing that would change my sound or my tone, because at the time as well, Tona Debrett was a really big influence on vocalists. Everybody went to her. And I always felt that after they'd been to her, that they came out with a Tona Debrett sound and maybe lost some of their individual sound. So I was always very wary of vocal teachers. But now I have a vocal lessons with a great woman, Jo Thompson, at least once a week when I'm not on tour. And I felt that she's really helped with the breathing and the controlling and hitting those notes with a certain amount of clarity and ease that I didn't know before.
The voice is an instrument. How do you keep that instrument in good condition as you...
Well, anyone who knows me knows that I go that extra mile.
Right.
Because what with being asthmatic, I like to keep myself fit and healthy, so I work out a lot. I'm vegetarian, I don't drink, I don't like the taste of alcohol. It's no moral issue. And cigarettes would be terrible for my asthma, and they just smell. So, yeah, I do look after myself. And I know people think, oh, my goodness, what kind of life does she lead? But I get to go on stage and do my thing. That's the biggest high ever, you know?
So you get such a great voice. Have you ever been on a stage and sung alongside someone else and thought, oh, wait a minute, I'm being outgunned here?
So slap you just for saying that foolishness. No, but I have been with in the presence of somebody whose voice is bigger than mine, and that was definitely Tom Jones. And I thought, I crawled out of the studio after we did the recording. His voice is massive, but he's such a great personality and he's so generous, you know. So you try and match that kind of strength and power. What with me being 5'4", yes, it took everything that I had, but it was fun. It was absolute fun. Yeah, you know, somebody who's on top of their game and is great at what they do, all they can do is pull out a better performance out of you. And if you feel intimidated, then you shouldn't be anywhere near the stage.
How do other singers feel when they're put on stage with you?
I don't know, you'd have to ask them. I mean, I did sing with Jimmy Somerville, and before I go on stage, I'm always very nervous. Even in rehearsals, I forget words and everything just because of nerves. But then when the lights go on, and I'm out there in front of an audience, like ding, 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 the dukes are up. And after I finished singing with Jimmy, he did say, oh, you're a little minx, aren't you? So I quite like that.
What were you listening to in the very early days? You mentioned Nina Simone and Tina Turner. Anybody else there who you thought that's...
Well, of course, because I didn't go to any kind of vocal training or have any tutors or choir involvement, the Bible for me was Aretha Franklin's, anything that Aretha Franklin had recorded, I listened to. And then Luther Vandross came along. And these are singers with very distinctive voices, but also a control over their voice. I loved Gladys Knight because her voice was quite deep and quite rich, and my voice has always been deep. And I felt like, you know, a girl with a deep voice, she can make it in this business. Because at the time, in the 70s, there was a lot of lovers rock, and all of the singers, beautiful voices. Carol Thompson, Jean Adibambo was one of the ones who had a lower voice, and I thought, there might be a place for me here, but a lot of the singers there was Minnie Riperton, you know, and I was never going to reach those notes. So I looked at people who had a distinct sound and also had a richness of tone. I mean, somebody like Ray Charles, I loved Al Green, you know, people that are timeless, absolutely timeless.
So what are the go-to albums for you? What's the go-to song that you never get bored of?
There's a Nina Simone album that I like. It's got a song on it called Suzanne, and I listen to that quite often because Nina Simone is quite a feisty character, and we know that she had some issues, but she always was, she fought for herself and also for her people, and she did it in a way that was musical and also entertaining and interesting. But there was always this underlying kind of sadness, and she was a little bit twisted. So I think that makes for great music. Sad and twisted and feisty. I can relate.
But your own music's very happy.
Yes, because, you know, I went through some difficult times. I grew up as a council estate immigrant child with people telling you who you were and who you were going to be, and that wasn't going to be very much. So I always felt that I had to kick against that, and it was either wallow in what they were talking about or find something more optimistic and a happier place to be, because I've been unhappy, and especially in my childhood for a while, and that's not what I wanted for myself in adulthood. You know, some people are good with that and can write songs that reflect that and are able to deliver those songs in a way that still makes people feel included. Whereas with me, because I feel that at the core of me there is a strength, so I think that there's lots of people, every one of us, in the core of us there is a strength, and it's a different way of letting people unleash that strength. And I know that with a positive message, I'm able to help people to unleash their strength because it helps me. So we can do it in the best way. Some people, they want to sing about the girl that's broken their heart, and people can relate. Whereas I will sing maybe about the man that's broken my heart, but I'll get over him.
Now, you're not just a great voice, you're also a great writer. You co-wrote Proud.
Well, it's very sweet of you to say great writer, but, you know, I know my place. But like I said before, Proud does come from a very personal place. Yeah. And I think that I was so able to write a song that was so meaningful to me and has resonance with others. I mean, that's what you want as a songwriter. So, yeah, happy with that. That has brought me joy.
It's a bit of a cliche, but which are you proudest of, the singing or the writing?
Well, I'd say primarily that I'm a singer, and the writing is something that I have to drag out of myself. But when I've done it, I'm happy with it. But it's nice to be able to balance the two, and I will do more writing, definitely.
So we've talked a lot about your career to date. What can we expect in the future from Heather Small?
Well, I'm touring now, and that has been absolutely joyous. And you say, you know, going back to the early days, this is smaller audiences, it's in the theatres, you know, I can reach out and touch the people, they can see the whites of my eyes, and just their reaction to me as a performer, it's been incredible. And they've elevated me to a different status as a singer and performer as well. So definitely some more live shows, because I'm in the best voice that I've been for years and years, and so I think I owe it to myself to sing just a bit more. So that's what you'll expect from me, definitely more singing and writing. Great,
Heather. Well, it's been a real pleasure. Thanks very much for joining us today. That's all we've got time for in Grassroots Music this week. Join us next week on Grassroots Music. Remember, Grassroots Music is your show, so if you'd like to get in contact with the programme, it's grassrootsmusic@stv.tv.